What's going on, everybody? I'm Uncle Henry Hill, and I am joined by Kevin Muller here, my good friend over there. And we are here tonight to talk about the hit FX and Hulu show. We're talking about Dave.
Whoa! Please do not shoot. USA. USA. You don't know my values. Maybe we have more in common than you might think.
Why don't you just tell me what they are?
Mom, what are our values?
Coffee for Jew? Jew?
Continue to like the show. It's growing on me, and it's getting more surreal. Like FX has another show called Atlanta, and that show got very surreal as it went on. And same with Dave. It's just getting weirder and weirder, but the direction is really interesting. And there's some out of the box cameos, and especially the last episode I really liked. I also like some of the lessons that Dave learns. Like he becomes famous, and every artist takes something from their childhood and kind of applies it to a story. Spielberg did it with the Fablemans. And there was the episode, I think it was the second episode, where he did a whole music video about his first crush.
Yes.
And, the girl was kind of offended because obviously that version of her was 13 years old. And, we're not the same people we are when we're 13. So, yeah, it's a great inspiration for Dave. But for her, it's not like pleasurable to look back on your 13
Right.
self. And I think that was a good lesson in that episode. Like, yeah, Dave may draw inspiration from that, but it's not always going to be pleasant for the other side. Yeah. What about you? What are some of the things you liked about it?
Yeah, I loved all the cameos this season. They really pulled out some big Hollywood A-listers this season. That was impressive. I mean, we're talking about the episode you were just talking about. We saw Jane Levy. Hadn't seen her in a while.
Yeah,
That
I
was
did not know
cool.
that was Jane Levy until like a few days
Oh,
after.
yeah?
Someone told me, like, oh yeah, the girl from Walking not Walking Dead,
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead, thank you.
Yeah.
Was in it.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, because she didn't have the red hair. She had the blonde hair.
Right.
And yeah, I
Exactly.
thought she was very good.
Yeah, she was awesome. She was also in Shameless, like of the first season. Like she was Lip's girlfriend, but then they recast Lip's girlfriend, so it changed from Jane Levy, but it was her in the first episode. So I knew that's how I knew it was her right away because she looked similar to that. But yeah, I mean, we saw everything really. So basically, this season 4, Dave's going out on tour. He's gained this popularity, and not only is he going out on tour, but he's really looking for love this season. You can say he's looking to find like his soulmate. And that's why in that whole second episode, like you mentioned, he goes back to his old neighborhood, makes this music video about him, falling in love for the first time and finds the real girl. And things don't, go according to how he envisioned things. And that's, like you mentioned, that's how the show goes a lot. It's from Dave's perspective, and he's in his own Dave world,
Yes.
as we've seen in previous seasons, but this season even more than others. But yeah, some really, they took some turns this season that I didn't see coming. They tried some new stuff, some different big concept episodes, like the one that was kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre in the middle of the season, where he met that obsessed fan and then
Yes.
ended up at the house, and it was really dark. It was more like a horror movie. That was cool.
Yes, yeah, that's stuff I'm talking about. That's the Atlanta type stuff. So it just goes back to his need for love, and as you said, everything's from his perspective. But as you move through the season, you find out that he has an overblown sense of love, and yes, it does fuel his art, but it also screws him in the end. So that was really cool. Personally, my favorite cameo was probably Jack Harlow. The Met Gala episode is my favorite episode of that season. I thought Jack Harlow and him bounced off each other extremely well. I got to really know Jack Harlow that well. I don't listen to his music, but I thought he had really, really good comedic timing.
Same thing. Yeah, same thing here. I'm not really familiar with his music. I had seen him in other things, had watched him in that recent White Men Can't Jump. He was in that. So I knew he could ball and could act a little bit. But yeah, it's funny because he kind of is like Dave's doppelganger in real life. And they really played off that in the episode, which was funny. And that whole episode just, really felt like a hyper realistic, you could imagine Dave going to that wearing this big outfit that he was going to inflate and cause a big scene there, and that's what all the celebrities do at the gala. They're trying to one up each other and make a big statement. And that's what he was trying to do in the episode. But, as always, things don't go as he had intended. And some crazy stuff happened in the bathroom there. He ran into Don Cheadle. And yeah, you find out that Don Cheadle's got some some dark things going on with him. There's some drug use. It just gets really off the wall this season. That's what I love about this show. It's in Dave's world, and much like we saw in I think the second season, where we saw the big producer Rick Rubin. That whole episode was, just amazing. This season had multiple ones like that, including the final episode, about the obsessed fan and him, meeting Brad Pitt and having him over, and Brad Pitt's going to record some in his studio, and then everything goes to hell when the obsessed fan, she has a gun and she kind of holds him hostage.
You were saying that the episode in what was it, Texas? Or
Yeah.
yeah,
Was it Texas? I think so. Yeah.
yeah, that was very scary, but I really got uncomfortable during that last episode with that
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
and let me tell you something, like Brad Pitt, it's a cameo, but he really bought it. He was good. He like the rap was funny he was doing, and he would just as I said, it just wasn't just like a one scene. Hey, lo, it's Brad Pitt. He was in the entire episode, and I thought he did a hell of a job, and I thought Dave did a really good job. That's Brad Pitt. The guy's won an Oscar. He's a famous actor, and I thought Dave did a hell of a job bouncing off of him.
Easy to get intimidated when you have that. I mean, one of the biggest actors in the world to work next to. And yeah, it didn't bother him at all. They worked well with each other. And it was awesome that Brad Pitt, came on board to do this.
Yeah.
I want to know, how he got these big A-listers on this season. Is amazing. Another one to mention, Rachel McAdams,
Yes.
bringing her over for not even one episode, for multiple episodes. That's crazy. And that's, it just goes to show you how big and popular this show's gotten. And amazing season. And even the minor characters, his Gata and all the minor
Yeah.
characters, they get their time to shine too. It's not just Dave's show. He lets his friends in and gives them some a lot of stuff to do as well.
I love the part in the end. It's like one of the last shots with Gata when he hands the keys to the house to his mother. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that was powerful.
That character basically has gone through a mental journey, and he's very open about it, and that's something I respect about the show, and Gata too, because I think Gata has a little mental health problems in real life, and I think it's really, really cool that he brings it to the show, and it's a big it's a way to basically put it on a big platform and say, hey, I'm famous, I make all this money, but I struggle with stuff like you do too.
Exactly. Yeah, that's one of the great things about the show. He brings a lot of important issues to the forefront. Obviously, it's a big, comedic show, and everybody thinks about that, but he really has some important topics that he covers in here cleverly. He mixes them throughout the season, and he does that a lot. It covers, like, what if he was so popular that he faked his death, to kind of, bring himself back, and, things like that. Just very clever writing. And, that's one of the reasons that this show is just really, phenomenal, and one of my favorites to watch every season. He really outdid himself this third season. I don't know where he's going to go from here, but if it's going to get any bigger than this, I can't wait to see
what cameos are going to get next. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah, we got a lot of rappers before, and we do this season Rick Ross, and I think Usher,
Usher's in there, yeah,
some others. So, but he does it. It's not just the cameo show. It's not just to bring him on. He really incorporates them into the episodes very well. And yeah, there's a lot to appreciate here. Chloe Bennett, I think her last name's Bennett, played, one of the girls he kind of fell in love with. Well, not really. She fell in love with him, and he kind of couldn't commit. But then
that's Robin, right? I think that's Robin.
Yeah, that's her, Chloe Bennett. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Now we remembered her name. Yeah. So yeah, but man, I was blown away with this season. My favorite yet. I can't wait to see where they go from here. And one thing that I was looking forward to a lot, especially at the end of that second season with him, doing the whole album, teasing the album on there. He's actually going to start releasing music from the show, that's what I've wanted, since the beginning. But now he's got so many songs that he's, played little snippets of throughout the show that when that album comes out, I'm going to be pretty excited to check it out.
Yeah, we'll be banging in our cars.
Yeah, for sure. He's clever, and some of them are similar, but he's got a lot of he does some really interesting stuff. The songs he has on Spotify are good. I've been listening to those. He has the one kind of album there with a couple good songs. But yeah, I can't wait for like the full length soundtrack for Dave.
Yeah.
And then he has his own music coming out too, separate from the show. So, but yeah, with that being said, I think that pretty much wraps it up. We talked about, I mean, I've talked about everything that I could remember from watching the show. I finished it up back when it aired in at the end of May. I recommend this show to everybody. I know Logan hasn't seen this yet. I've been telling him to watch this.
At
He's going
all?
to catch up. No. So, which is why he's going to get
Oh,
spoiled
wow.
editing here. So, sorry, Logan, but you should have been watching. We told you.
Sorry, Logan.
But with that being said, I am going to give the third season of Dave. It's nearly perfect for me. I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5 Gata hair pieces.
Well, I also wanted to say that I'm going to give this 4 because I think one character that is kind of getting sacrificed as the show gets bigger is the girlfriend or the ex-girlfriend, Allie, played by
Yeah, she didn't. Yeah, she wasn't there much this season,
Yeah,
and
and even when
I
she
feel
was
like he's going to come back to her. I feel
You
like.
think so?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, and she's a good character. I think what's the actress name? Taylor Mishak. I like her. She was part of the reason the first season of work, but I just think the writing on her character was a little bit underdeveloped this season. And there were times when they tried to give her stuff to do, and I don't know, it braked it for me. It kind of pulled the
Yeah.
star back. But
Yeah.
as you said, it's a great show, and I have a lot of fun watching the show. And it sucks. We're probably going to have to wait, maybe 2 years now for this.
Yeah, probably with the writer's strike and actors strike, that's probably going to eventually happen. It's going to be a rough wait.
It's gonna be nothing to see for a while.
Yeah,
Hollywood.
that sucks. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, final score for me is 4 out of 5 gated hair pieces.
Yeah. So we want to hear from you guys. What did you guys think of the third season of Dave? Were you blown away by that Brad Pitt cameo as much as we were? Let us know in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to click subscribe. Also, check out our website, Cinephellas.com, and follow along with our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all the latest and greatest in TV, movie news, and reviews.
And for Cinephellas, I am Kevin Muller.
I'm Henry Hill.
As we say at the website, cheers.
Cheers.